Hey everyone, welcome back to the second half of DreadLore. Tonight is Into Space.
Into space.
We're here with our cast. Bill Bunkum is the Arbiter. I'm Drizzle. We've got Andrea Elliott-Johnson. We've got Ken Howl. We've got Jazzy Cabbage with us tonight. We'd like to thank the music that's provided by all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt.
Thanks.
We'd like to thank our Patreons, Nostalgic, Natalia Cline, Tim Roberts, and Daniel Hulker. If you're interested in being a patron, just go to Patreon/DreadLore. I think that's what it is. We would like to thank all the pretty stuff that's done by Couchfire Media. They're the reason that you get to see us right now. And we'd also like to thank ttrpg Productions for whatever the fuck they do.
Whatever they do. Whatever they do.
Complete mystery.
Subscribe
today, soldier.
Subscribe and become a citizen.
So, I'm still looking up in typical fashion what Andrea wanted me to look up. I'm delving through loads and loads of bullshit to find out the exact name. And I can't find my notes. But you know, it's not that I don't have it in notes, it's that it doesn't exist. Every star in the possibility of where you could go. Classic Game Master problem. What's beyond that door? God damn it, that door. Fuck. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to throw it back on you. How widespread is the Telmus shipping empire? That's really the question, because we don't need to know all the bullshit, especially if it's not necessarily going to come into play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how far widespread is it?
Exceptionally widespread. In fact,
A roll.
Oh, we're definitely doing a roll, and you get a pip, Ken, because you knew exactly where this was going to go. Now, I was going to ask you, Andrea, how widespread it was, because that's going to determine the stakes. You're saying it's as widespread as it possibly can be. Excellent.
Well, so here's basically my vision of what it would be. Given the fact that I'm pretty sure the war with between Mars and Earth, which later then became the Solar System Authority, was probably before a lot of these colonies were colonized.
No.
No? Okay.
So the last Martian war, meaning there were previous Martian wars.
Yeah.
The last one where, kind of like the King in the North, bent the knee, was 100 years ago. Right about. Actually, at this point, it's more than 100 years ago, because you guys have been traveling for 11 years.
Into space.
So Arthurius might have been my great-great-grandfather then at that point.
Well, I mean, it just
Or
depends.
my grandfather or great-great, yeah. True.
It's a lot to
Yeah.
figure out. You could say they were traveling in cryo sleep for fucking forever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, true.
So, the idea is, and also maybe you've been traveling in cryo sleep, so it was actually your grandfather, right? By that token, the last Martian war was around 100 years ago. By that token, Katrina may have been able to have seen it. I mean, we can play with that history. We haven't been running it that way. We've been running it that it happened way before you were born. So, so much all at the same time. I have ADHD. It's a problem.
Anyway,
It's like a
in terms of my thoughts on the Telmus shipping company, they would have basically taken advantage of their newfound position of authority on Mars to expand out basically as far out as they reasonably could muster, given the fact that they were a core planet in the solar system. and gave them a decent amount of access to resources, and therefore gave them a very good starting point to expand out.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Well played. Here's gonna be the fate roll. First of all, who's rolling it?
I'll be high.
You'll be fortune, you mean?
Yeah. Fortune.
I'll say that's my job.
Oh, well then maybe you should be high.
So who's fortune and who's false fortune?
I'll be fortune.
Okay,
I'll
so
be false fortune.
Jazzy is fortune, Dolby is false fortune. Here are the stakes. And I'm gonna have Drizzle help me with these stakes. Help me cook these steaks. All right. Drizzle, we'll just play it by ear. That's what we do in this game. False fortune. I always like to do second.
So fortune.
No, I'm gonna do it first. Yeah, so fortune.
Okay.
So fortune. Fortune would be the Telmus Shipping Company. The Martian War was 100 years ago-ish. But that's when it ended. The war itself lasted a while. This last one did. And ostensibly, the Telmus Shipping Company was around well before it. The company itself could be 200-300 years old and have gotten its infrastructure when the major colonies and even the distal colonies technically were built. So Telmus could be like the organization, like one of the major organizations in shipping, and have always been that way from like the first, in which case it stands to reason they're everywhere, or they could be anywhere. So fortune is your company, your family company is kind of like Rockefeller style. Into space happens 400-500 years into the future, and real colonies started. See, gravity lanes and such about 300 years ago. So the shipping company probably started 250, 300 years ago. It's really old. That's like one of those East India Company type things. Drizzle, how would you modify this for fortune?
What I was thinking was that the closest colony that would be 2 to 3, like it's 2 to 3 planets worth. It's not
Oh shit.
like, so
in
it's
the same
like
system?
Yeah, well, like it's the closest kind of, or maybe it's 2 to 3 moons, like 3 little colonies on 3 different moons. But like an actual, not just one place, like an actual sort of hubbub type sort of place.
I see. So how far away is that from here? Yeah, go on.
I was going to say 2 to 3 years.
Okay. so 2 to 3 light years. So what that means is it's on one of the major lanes. It stands to reason that Katrina would have been around there because she was around there. It's where you guys picked her up, and she'd been attacked by pirates. So it kind of makes sense that her family's business would be around within 2 or 3 light years of where you are.
Right. I'd say it's one big planet, but the planet's not livable. But it has like 3 moons that travel around it, and they have put outposts, or they have built colonies on each of the moons, and then the outpost is on one of them.
Okay, and you're saying that the Telmus helped create Telmasi helped create this the infrastructure of that big colony
of one of the moons.
Okay. And we'll get into creation once we've actually rolled.
Oh yeah, it's just.
But I love that. Think of a name. Okay. We'll say that if that's the case, it's 3 light years away. So Andrea, you should write this down. It's 3 light years away. More near the main thoroughfare, leading like along the proximal colony arm. So think galaxy-wise, it's usually like a spiral arm, right? We're probably talking about near the Pleiades, I think. At any rate, fortune. If fortune is rolled, not only will Telma shipping have helped the backbone, like build lots of that colony, it'll actually have a major stake in it, like almost corporatocracy style. Will be one of the major players that kind of designates the governance of that colony, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, all right. So there's that, and all the implications therein. False fortune. False fortune is essentially the exact same thing, except part of the issue, part of the reason why Katrina is a mercenary and may have been not into the corporate aspect of the family is the family's actually been taken over. Like, the board of directors is not a Telmas. They kind of keep you on like the Wayne brother or the Wayne cousin or whatever. Like, you have a seat because you have the name. But actually, the Telmas shipping is not 100% run by Telmas people anymore. And they're extremely corrupt, which makes sense. You will know that they're involved with all manner of everything, which can be good, but it's also, they are a bunch of fucking traitors. That's who they are. Like, they're like mobby. Think of like Outlaw Star or Cowboy Bebop. They're one of those corporations. Cool. Fortune, they're more in the up and up. They're more in the governance. They have more of a face, more respect. And Katrina Telmas could walk in and be like, yeah, I technically have 15 shares of the company, which makes you important. Like, very important. Let's roll.
The name of the colony group,
Yep.
because it's all the thing together, is Treluna.
Oh, I get
Cool.
it. Derp.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like your little home away from home. Oh man, we're like building your story based on rolls. Did Jazzy Cabbage just
Yeah.
roll on the floor?
Okay,
Is that
cool,
just
then.
what happened?
So it bounced out of my tray.
I knew it. I knew it.
And it found its way into like the crack of my couch.
Yes.
So we got a 50.
Oh, I got to roll
At least
too.
the floor got a 50.
Guess what I got?
What'd you get?
I got a 35.
Oh, looks like Fortune wins, yeah? Or is it false Fortune?
Yeah.
Also, Fortune.
I am Fortune.
Wait, who is Fortune?
so
Me.
He's Fortune.
Oh,
there.
and
I
he
rolled
won.
50.
Yes, Fortune wins, yes.
So,
Oop.
this might be kind of crazy,
You
but I
want
think
more?
it'd be kind of cool.
No
if
way.
well, no. I think you might actually find this cool though.
Yeah, I will. Go on.
So, and I did, and admittedly, I'm making an assumption because I don't necessarily know like the limits of the technology in the universe.
Neither do I.
But I had this idea, and I'm basically, my idea is to drop the load on my narrative points, if you'll let me do this.
Oh, you cannot do that.
Oh,
Yeah. You can't drop the load with narrative points. You can drop the load with pips.
I think she's meaning just that she's willing to use all of her narrative points for it.
No,
Is that what
we
you're
don't.
meaning?
We don't want that fiat, because it's not a game mechanic on purpose, right? But you
Gotcha,
can spend
okay.
a narrative point to get something.
Okay.
Because essentially what that leads to is I burn everything. I spend everything and blow it up, and I spend everything, and I kill myself too. Do I get it? No. It breaks the game.
So my idea in this is that one of the contributing factors to Telmar shipping's success
Telmar shipping
is basically is that they're in the furthest outer colony that they are operating out of. They take a black box with them. The black box, the black box is basically a quantumly linked computer to one that is at basically back home on Mars.
Ansible?
Maybe? I'm not sure what I'm not familiar with Ansible.
It's the Ender's Game thing. It's instantaneous communication.
Yeah, and essentially, the idea being the idea in this part being that, in terms of the outer world, that they don't, the nobody else knows about that except for insiders in the family. So basically, to the outside world, it looks like, wow, Telmar Shipping is making really amazing moves. Somehow they're predicting, these market maneuvers that make no sense. Like how they couldn't possibly know that ahead of time, but they are basically communicating with something that.
All right.
Like predictive AI making stock trades.
So spend.
It's like the movie Pi.
So spend a narrative point, and you will have to bid and throw down on this. So the reason that this is working, one, it is very cool, but two, it's this: you're guessing who Jon Snow's mother is. So this is a major part of it's a fairly strong part of the plot of the Come Get Some series, which is what you guys are on. You're in like episode 2 or 3 of it. The Ansible is absolutely in the world. It is 100% stolen from Ender's Game because it's a cool fucking book. So your thumb is on the nerve.
Okay.
All right, before you throw down, before you do all the goodness, there is a limit to this, to the best you can get. The best you can get is that Telmar Shipping has access to one. They don't own it. The reason they don't own it is because someone else does. One of the major plot players of the entire game. So you can't have it unless you guys are the big bad evil guys. And I'm not doing that again, Andrea. I'm not doing that again.
No, fair. That's a fair point.
So, I mean, maybe later, but not in this game. God damn it. All right.
Yeah.
So they will have access to an Ansible. The closer, if you beat the threshold, then that's what it'll be. If you get the crit, meaning 2 over the threshold or more, you will know a little more information about this. Very, very dark information. And then it'll be degrees of success and failure with that. I kind of know where you're going for this. The idea being, even if it's an utter failure, Katrina will know that it exists, and potentially there is a way to have, it's not instantaneous communication, but extremely fast, extremely prompt communication. Okay.
So for the in terms of trait, or not trait, but aspect, which one would you want me to use for this?
It's completely up to you which aspect to use. For the chat, what are the aspects, Drizzle?
You have brawn, you have mind, you have grace, and you have wits. Brawn is something strength. Mind is more knowledge like what you know and that sort of stuff. Grace is skill at doing something, like, and then wits would be, I think, as more like how quickly your cognitive works.
Yeah. So exactly. So grace and wits are acuity and precision, and mind and brawn are power. So you make a case for it.
Okay, in that case, I'll use wits just because this is Katrina. She's. I mean, obviously, she's not going to tell anybody this, but this is her basically running through her mind.
I would expect you
her
to never tell any secrets ever.
Oh well, yeah.
At
What?
all. Of course, you keep it. You know. You keep secret.
I'm super
Okay,
good
so
at secrets.
the threshold for this, I will tell Drizzle, and I will have something else happen. Hey, Dolby. I'm going to send you a message real quick. Can you see your messages, Dolby? And
All right.
Jazzy, could you see your messages as well?
I will bid my name, Katrina
Better.
Thomas.
That is
Yeah.
very apt.
And let's see. So I'll use wits, which is D8. Ooh, I didn't like that roll. Let's try that again by spending 2 of my proficiencies. Also, we're just gonna dump that out temporarily.
So, for the chat, essentially, when a player bids, oh, Cherokee Soup Pip to Katrina, what? Redeemed a Pip.
Ooh, thank you. I won't use it for that. But
So-
let's see here.
For the chat, when a player bids a trait, they can take control of the narrative to a degree. They say what they want to happen within reason, and it happens. If it's opposed or difficult, they have to throw down their dice against a threshold, and there's degrees of success and failure, which we just did. So it takes a little while, but they're using their character to do this.
So I will bid. Let's see. Quick thinking. To activate expert pilot. As basically, Katrina is crunching the numbers in her head, as someone who flies through space a lot, trying to basically figure out about how long it would take her to actually organize something useful for these people.
Yep, that makes
Let's see,
sense.
that gives me 2 successes plus another success is a D6, so that's a total of 6 successes.
Okay. Anything else you're gonna do? Ninja gear, etc., etc. You got proficiencies. Drizzle, would you like to tell people what a proficiency is? And Ken, would you like to tell what people what Ninja Gear does when you bid it?
Well, proficiency is basically you get to re-roll your die, but you have to keep the new roll. So if you rolled a D10 and you got 1 success, but you used a proficiency to re-roll it and you got 0 successes, you have to stick with the 0 successes.
Ninja gear is
I guess
your
the only other
tools that you can use, and you can, as you advance through the game, you can put traits on that tool. So if I had a hammer, and I hammered all the time, I could gift my hammer, say durable, to keep it stronger, and each time I give it a, put my, I guess, upgrades into it, I would get to roll a dice, starting at D4. If it was upgraded once, it'd be a D6. If it was upgraded twice, it'd be a D8. If it was upgraded 3 times, it would be a D10 and 4 times a D12. And if it was upgraded 5 times, it would be a relic.
Boom. All right, what'd you get total? Also, you two get narrative points for that explanation. Thank you.
The only other thing I could do, and I will do, is I'll bid Martian Princess, which is a new trait, to activate Seasoned Shipmate for another D6, and re-roll that with a proficiency to get one more. So that's a total of 7 successes, and that's about all I can get.
Jazzy, I'm gonna give Cherokee Sue a trait as well. It's because you play as a guest star a lot, so you're a little bit behind in traits. Something along the line of connoisseur.
Okay.
Because when you play Cherokee Sue, he's a lot more interesting. So yeah, you can name it what you want, but I'm thinking in terms of he's someone who actually knows things. Like you mentioned, his history on Prime, also him knowing food, like just something interesting. In fact, I'll give you 2 traits, something along those lines. He's cultured in some way. All right, what's the total? 7? Let's find out what the threshold is. I actually don't know. Dolby, what'd you roll?
I rolled 0 successes.
Well, what'd you roll on the die?
A 2.
Okay, so 2. Jazzy, Cherokee, what did you roll?
Great.
Uh-oh, we're at 5. What'd you roll, Drizzle?
On the die, I rolled a 5.
So we got a threshold of 10.
Whoa!
Threshold of 10. So you got 7. So we're at a normal failure. That is a degree of success. I'm sorry, a degree of failure. It's not another failure.
You know what? Screw it. Just for the sake of this, just because I feel like it'd be interesting, I'll spend a breath.
I mean, it could have gone all bad. They could have all rolled 1s. You know, you never know. I'm not gonna. Andrea's looking at me like, "Fuck you." You guys could spend proficiencies to re-roll.
I feel like I rolled.
Oh, you're talking about the 3 of us that are affecting. I didn't realize that we could do
You're
that.
a bunch of players, man. Come on now.
Okay, so
I'll keep the 2.
Let's see. I rolled a 3, so I'm like.
3 is pretty high.
Wait, you rolled a 3 or you got 3 successes?
So Drizzle rolled a D10, and those other 2 rolled D4s.
Oh,
Right. So for me, I ended up going high. So I'm like, I might want to re-roll just for.
No, you want to roll low in this one.
That's what I'm saying. I should probably re-roll.
Unless
so I need
you
to
want
use.
Andrea to fail.
I super do. Like, just fuck you, dude. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna use Skullduggery.
Yeah, sure.
The resources on this one are
scallywag.
going down.
To be fair, I've been relatively conservative this time. Normally, I'm like, blah, 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 use all my resources.
Yep.
1. Never been so excited to roll that 1.
So you rolled a 1. Ken, you rolled what? A 2. A 2. So that's 3 and a 5. So we're at 8. So you're not crit failing now. So you didn't drop it by 2. You're at 7. Threshold's 8. Drizzle, you want to try to do something, or are we?
I'm in the lower half of a D10. I'm afraid that if I re-roll, it'll be high. Like,
yeah, tell you what.
Yeah.
In this regard, do you think haywire would be applicable?
You tell me. I give
It's
you
basically
nothing.
the idea of well, the haywire, the skill or the ability haywire, basically causes electronics to malfunction, and or just, have problems.
This is your work. This is not my work. This is your homework. I'm not doing your homework.
I just don't know.
your players, you must think creatively.
So, I mean, the real question here is like, if you used Haywire, would you be able to use that to predict unfavorable outcomes? Is that what you mean by like something going haywire?
Oh, okay.
Or...
Here we go. Okay, I actually have an idea for this. Okay, so
Well, if
For
you
this,
look
I'll
at
spend a
Madam, it
pip.
disappears.
okay, this is a tiny bit convoluted, but
Please.
I'll use a pip.
I'm
to
drinking
say
bourbon now.
that-
We're good.
I will say I'll use a pip to say that when before I left the company, I utilized the artifact that allows me to use Haywire to basically hack one of my family's terminals, because basically I was a board member, but I wasn't like I wasn't clued in on like the top secret stuff that our family has access to. Because I wasn't in charge. But I used Haywire to basically hack, or to cause a malfunction in this terminal, so that way I could hack it,
Glitched it.
and find out the information. Yeah.
It's called
So I will bid hacker to activate that, which gives me a total of 9 successes.
All right. Everybody give yourself a pat on the back as you have won this challenge of the fate roll. We'll blame this on something. My old D&D crew would say, or Vampire the Masquerade would say it's because of the bourbon. We'll say that you all get 1 experience for this.
Whoa!
Ooh.
For the
Take
chat,
that.
what does that mean, Dolby?
It means that we can advance, but not advance. We can get a new trait. We can add
get-
attributes or abilities
No.
to our ninja gear.
You
What is it?
have
And-
to- No, wait. You have
Oh.
to get 3 experience
Haha.
before you can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I had two. I had 2
I'll be right
experience,
back.
So that
I got
means
that.
that I
Do
get
it, do
to upgrade. So I guess when you get 3 experience, that means you get to add a trait, or
You get an
which
advancement.
is a way to develop your character and give you more things that you can do. You can, if you get an advancement with 3 experience points, you can add an ability, which is really great because you can use your abilities to augment your traits and such.
Jazzy, how many XP do you have?
I had 2.
You had 2? And now do you
I
have
had
2 or
2,
now do you
yeah.
have 3?
That I believe that puts me at 3. I was gonna
Alright.
say I
So-
know we got 1. I mean, I'm trying to do the math here. That's why I'm
Yeah, do
asking the question. Because I think in the last 2 major sessions of Into Space that I was a part of, we ended up getting an experience point. So that would put me at 2, and this
Yep.
being the 3rd. Okay.
Sounds good.
So then yes.
So, you're at 3. You guys are all going to be in the montage since this is taking forever. If you want, you can go ahead and advance, or you can hold off. It's up to you. What can you do with an advancement, Dolby?
You can. I was. You can add a trait. You can get a. You can upgrade your gear, basically your whatever your tools you have, or you can add an ability, or upgrade your abilities, and you can bid traits to activate abilities. So this is all good for the players, I guess.
And you can also
Add a proficiency.
Or you could get another reroll.
So,
Potentially.
proficiencies give them rerolls. They spend them. There's a maximum amount that they have. Ninja gear, they add traits. When they advance ninja gear, they add traits to their ninja gear. For example, Drizzle, what's one of your pieces of ninja gear that has an advancement on it?
My Bowie knife.
Okay, so it's a Bowie knife.
Nice.
Yep. 1 trait is concealable.
Yep.
The other trait is sharp.
So, if it was just the knife, on your turn, if you bid it as ninja gear, you would gain a D4.
Correct.
But what do you throw down as an extra die instead of a D4?
Since it has 2 traits on it, it increases that D4 2 levels. So that goes up to a D6 and then a D8. So I throw a D8.
Right. So not only can Drizzle bit it, the Bowie knife, boom, that's 1 trait. Sharp, boom, that's 2 traits. Also, what's the other one? Concealable. 3. Every time he does that, it's a D8. So folding the story, folding your experience into your ninja gear is very, very powerful in that regard. So abilities work a little bit differently. Dolby, how does an ability work?
Well, if you have an ability, most of the abilities you can find in the DreadLore core book, which yeah, which if you want a copy of that, there's a downloadable PDF that you can get and find out more about what an ability is by going to our Linktree /DreadLore and know all about abilities.
Yep, that you can. DreadLore.com, baby.
They start on page 121.
Yeah.
Alright, so
That was the page.
so Katrina is out and about, and we will decide what happens with her in a moment. You guys waiting so long on Aladdin.
But this is weird, right?
No, I'm gonna have a conversation with everybody. I got something.
I'm going to give you guys a little bit from your traits, which you have spent. The last one that you can remember that you spent. Cherokee Sue, what's the last one you spent on this?
What was the last trait that I spent in an encounter?
Yep.
I think I was trying to level with Aladdin, and I'm pretty sure I either used native or real truth, one of those two. That's typically are the ones I go to for that kind of thing.
With real truth active. Looking around Cherokee Sue, this seems odd. There's something about this that seems odd. Are you in a terrorist's den?
Is this like Charlie Wilson's War? Anybody?
What's the last trait that you dropped on this encounter?
Who'd you ask?
Dolby.
Okay. Yeah, bloody. It's a flaw.
Looking around, all of these people have shed blood. You can tell.
Yeah.
They're not all militants, but they've had to do what they've had to do, perhaps. They don't have the look of normies. You've seen a lot. Dolby's seen a lot. You know what it's like when take the people that don't know how to fight to the caves. These are not them. They're combatants. Even the ones that weren't like in the military. These are combatants. They're hard people.
These are like the Kurds. They fought their whole lives.
You get a narrative point. They're exactly Bedouin and Kurds and the whole thing. Exactly. Skip Trace.
Yep.
Not Burgess.
It was Free Thinker.
Free Thinker. I'm going to give you a moment here. What does Skip see?
Skip sees, he's looking around and he's like, there's something wrong here. Why would you have all of this stuff behind 2 large doors just to have an open causeway straight to the outside? There's something not right about that. Is that keeping them from coming down here and knowing something?
Do you think these guys are aligned with Confucius?
I don't know. Like this is just what Skip is thinking. There's something not right here. He has seen the front lines before. He has seen areas and knows how if this is supposed to be the command base, they should not have an open doorway right here. Maybe this is false. Maybe this is
Yep,
something...
it's on you. What do you
Huh?
see?
Well, that's what I see.
All right, that's as defined as you're gonna make it.
Well, I mean, why? Like, do you mean what he physically sees, or? Yeah, that's what he sees. Because I'm not for sure where you're wanting me to go with it.
I'm giving you a lot of control, is what I'm doing.
Oh.
Give us a break.
Yeah, he sees it because he's like, to him, this feels false. It feels like a setup for the people outside to think that there's more going on in here than actually is what he feels like.
As Skip is looking around, and all of you are, Katrina, you're having your moment with all of these people. You're doing your calculation and stuff. We're gonna move to them really quick. We talked about you while you were gone, in a good way.
Read you for filth. Oh, shit. I thought we were going the other way.
Aladdin is speaking to someone who looks very similar to them, except with a hood up, and it's sort of ornate. This desert dwelling, like monk looking person. Potentially is Gostrom. Skip, we'll say that with your bid, you know that it is Gostrom. The dude with the hair, god damn it. There is a piece of the puzzle you guys don't know. That's obvious to all of you, except for Katrina, because you're not actually in that scene or that encounter. You all hear the starting of an engine. You know it well. It's the starting of afterburners, a large vessel. Not an APC, larger than an APC. Perhaps another gunboat. It's kind of like when one of us, to age ourselves, hears a dial-up modem. You hear it and you know exactly what it is. The low thrums and such. It's out the cave entrance. Nobody seems to react. Aladdin is talking to Gostrom, who looks over, and you see under the hood, darkness. Just barely you can see these ornate eyes. There's makeup, glittery makeup all over them, like a shaman. Something is odd about Gostrom's movements, Skip Trace. Since you're the one, you bid free thinker. As she moves like a woman, but there's something odd. It's almost insectoid. There's a quickness in how they move, a very preciseness. As they turn and look at you all, nod. This is just sort of happening. Aladdin turns and starts walking towards you. Skip, as you notice, Gostrom moves around to one of the terminals, types around on some stuff. This is all happening as Aladdin is moving back with their hands up like so. Apparently to tell you something. They walk on up. Go on.
In the comms only, so no one can hear me. Sir, this feels like a decoy.
Well, we've been through decoys before. Let's do we think they lock us out? I mean, can we get back into where we were?
Cherokee Sue, private comm to you.
Anyway,
Silas
I'm gonna say out
says-
loud. I would love to say something.
Silas is talking to me right now, or
Yep. This just happens the same time. Hold on.
cool.
You might tell the lieutenant that someone else has arrived in the sky. Not over us. Maybe over the colony. Continue, Dolby.
I guess we are marked for death. We know where we are. It'd be a shame to have to move again. We know who we are.
I'm just saying this may not be their actual base.
I don't disagree with you. I'm not worried about if this is their base or not. We were pretty much supposed to fail. Did you have something to add, Cherokee?
Oh, somebody else is here. They're over the colony. I just thought that was kind of weird, since it's all weird in here.
Do you think they have hostile intent?
I think Skip is on the right track. This feels like a paper town.
Like, Gostrom isn't real?
Or maybe
This specific outpost is trying to convince us of something that doesn't actually exist.
Well,
I don't think it's
Good.
necessarily us. I think maybe this is a way. How do you keep rebels under control, but give them a false hope?
oh, I see.
Because those doors really only keep the people outside from getting in.
Well, maybe we should just take off.
A little late for that.
The door is open. The door is wide open. I
Yeah,
mean, it
we
looks
can
like
always-
we could just leave. They gave
I
us.
say we at least prepare for an exit,
And
like have
out.
our ship
Oh,
ready.
I'm prepared. I promise you. I'm ready to go. If they want to
Dolby,
throw.
have you
And,
received my messages? And I'm sending all of you private messages, so you know.
Oh shit! Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't have.
Everybody
that.
check your messages.
I have to pull it up on my phone. Okay, I am not prepared. More
I
prepared.
did not get one.
Right. I'm a strong believer in that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, whether this is a fake place or not. These people here seem to really exist in this
Oh.
place.
I think the
And-
people outside are these people in here may be controlling them.
You
think
know what
these
Santa
people are
Claus
controlling
is,
the city?
Shelby?
I don't think these people control the city.
There's no city.
No, I think that maybe these people are controlling the people out there, making them believe that there's hope, fighting and stuff when they may not be instrumental. That Gostrom seems. Watch the way they move. They don't move. I don't know if they're magnetic. They don't move naturally.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Hey, Dolby,
Yeah.
roll sanity.
I understand. I understand why.
Yeah, you do.
So
There's a
I'm
whisper.
standing here.
There's a
looking
whisper
at
in your
this.
mind, in your ear.
Oh no!
That's one success.
Hey, Cherokee Sue, roll sanity. As Dolby, describe yourself. One success does succeed.
Oh,
Subscribe.
question.
Describe
So for
yourself
this
to
roll,
Cherokee
what
Sue.
am I rolling?
I
Sanity.
am.
Be
I'm a
mind
person
and your
that-
D10 action die.
that
So, okay.
will shoot first and ask questions later. I play it by the gut. I'm a gut reaction kind of person. I'm not
But
a
you got
thinker.
Cherokee and you got Skip Trace next to you.
But I feel like if we were in a bad place and they wanted to fight us, that we might win from everything I've seen. We might not. I have this false or real air of confidence that is maybe stupid, but
Okay. That's the description of Dolby to Cherokee Sue and Skip
Yeah.
Trace, right? Cool. Cherokee, what'd you roll?
I got a 4 and a 7, so
So the 4 is 1 success because it's 4. The 7 is 1 success. What's the 7?
2?
Nope.
Oh no, it's in the 10.
Yep.
oh wait, I only
Nope.
rolled one die.
4
I got 2
to
successes.
7. 4 to 7 is 1 success. 8 and higher is 2.
Got you. Okay.
So you rolled a 4
'Cause I rolled
on 1 die, so that's 1.
1d6.
And then a
Yes, that's
7
1.
is 1, so how many?
Dose.
2. Yes, you get a narrative point because you beat it by 2. Threshold is 0. You and Dolby were at Whisper Base. As Skip Trace tells you what he did. Skip Trace, can you repeat what you said?
They're not moving naturally. I don't know. They don't move like a person did. I don't know
Okay,
if they're
I'm gonna-
phonetic.
I'm-
Hold on, let me finish.
I don't know if they're enetic or maybe something else.
That's enough. Don't say more words. I'm gonna
That's
keep.
it. That's it. That's what you hear. You guys are, I will say, in your right mind, because you beat the sanity roll, so you have complete agency.
If this
No.
person was this person anything like the person at Whisper Base?
I mean, Skip Trace is
I
the
mean-
one looking at him.
I made a couple of bids related to it.
I'm going to bid because evidently Will does not remember that I was also at Whisper Base.
I know you were.
Okay, I'm
You just
gonna
were
bid.
insane at Whisper Base.
Okay, I'm gonna bid Scrapper.
Yep.
To know if they're moving like the creatures that we fought at Whisper.
Throw down. Also, you'll need to spend cunning because Dolby is acting, and I have a sneaky suspicion Cherokee Sue is following suit.
Okay, I will.
And I want to
throw
speak for
down-
Cherokee Sue.
I will throw down cunning. What?
Dolby, are you throwing down cunning?
Of course, I'm gonna throw down cunning.
All right, so now this is between the players. Who goes first? And Cherokee Sue, are you acting? Because you see all of whatever is the fuck happening. The action is on you.
So, in this particular moment, instead of choosing violence like I would typically, I feel like we need to understand what it is that they're
What do
putting
you
the show
do?
on for.
What do you do /
So-
say?
I am gonna just look at Skip and just
No,
say,
do you spend cunning?
yes.
they
Okay.
spent-
You,
okay.
you said you
All right, you
assumed
all
that I
spent
spent cunning,
cunning.
so I
All
just did. Yeah,
So
I
you
should have
all
just said
spent
that, my
cunning.
bad.
It is between you all, you three. And Katrina, you hear the comms. It is between you three. What happens? Go.
We need
Is
to
there
figure
anybody-
out what the act is for. There's a reason that they put on this elaborate show, and it's not for us. We need to understand what is going on. And if we go in there, guns blazing, we are not going to figure out anything. And I know typically I'm the one that's like, let's fuck it up. But in this particular situation, we do not have enough details. Something is wrong.
Not guns blazing.
I am throwing my. I got 2 successes to know if they move like like the creatures we fought in Whisper Base.
Hold that in your mind because you guys have all spent cunning. You got to decide amongst yourselves who goes first and what you do.
Do I
It's
see
all on you all.
Do I have access to any of the creatures, or like do I see any of anything, anybody? And I would like to bid.
I think between the
Some
three of us,
fucking luck to activate my new ability, walk in the shadow, and say, "Hey guys, why don't you step back here with me?"
I love it.
I think that table talking.
Oh, he's got
I was
the hands
already
up and everything.
I was paying attention. I was the one who brought this to your attention. So then, therefore, I think my role should go first on remembering, just because I've already been focused on it, and that may change what's about to happen.
So in the back of my mind, I'm the only one that built any rapport with Aladdin, and I'm wondering if we can't leverage this situation, because y'all are going to be able to figure out if I'm talking to them, y'all can be listening.
Sounds good.
That's my proposal.
So I'm just trying to gather information. Can I go first?
James.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dolby, what'd you bid?
Oh, I bid dumb fucking luck to activate my walk in the shadow. Dolby just kind of disappears.
Okay. There's a moment. Let me dictate. I love it. This is so meta. Also, Pip to Drizzle for using the signal. Out of game is this.
Did narrative? Or native, sorry. Can I bid?
You can in just 1 second.
Go ahead, my bad.
I'm going to deal with this, and then you can absolutely. As you all three, as players, realize the fucking tiger trap. I love it. Boom. Dolby, you kind of move off to the side. I want you to describe how do you move out of this, sort of out of the way.
Well, I heard this engine fire up. Something's going down. They're not talking to us. This person is clearly not telling us a ton, even though they're not complete enemies. It's always a risk. Anytime you go into people you don't know's house, they might give you a rupee.
Depends on how hard you want to party.
988, anybody. And how does Dolby sort of move out of the way? What do they see?
They see he's just kind of standing still, looking around. Yeah, it does seem wrong.
You note that Cherokee is taking the lead on this, and whether you trust Cherokee, you see Cherokee towering above, looking around, like actually trying to think about it, which is strange. Normally, he's the person who's right in there with his fucking power hammer. You also see Skip Trace taking a little bit of the lead, moving forward to Aladdin, who's moving towards you all, as if Skip is going to actually perhaps talk or make a decision. Dolby, you've known for a long time. Skip has leadership potential. You've known for a long time. Cherokee has leadership potential. Oh, gods. That moment when you realize your subordinates have learned. What shall you do? You move off to the side, up the hill a little bit. Do you actually go to look, or are you just moving away, Dolby?
I go to assess and reassess because everything feels off, and my subordinates have told me everything is off. So I'm just suddenly on edge.
On edge, with loads of experience, command experience, you realize that the immediacy of the situation is not so immediate.
Yeah.
You have time. You can take your time. You hear Skip saying things that matter. You hear Cherokee saying things that matter. But actually,
then I just kind of
have
stroll
time.
off to the side. I just kind of nonchalantly kick rocks. I might pick a rock up, throw it off in the other direction, and then I'll just kind of like twist around. And then I'll just kind of like move slow and deliberately off.
Sexy though. Sexy-like. As you move up the embankment, and you see a ship on a landing spot. What is that called?
Landing pad.
Thank you. A landing pad.
Or a port.
Or a port. You're in the mountains at this point. You're in the foothills. You see out. It's dark, but there's this the starlight, and of course, the lights on the landing pad of this gunboat. It's nowhere near as heavily armed or armored as the Cool Mint. It could hold maybe 30, 40 troops. It's turned on. You can tell, Dolby.
Ooh.
From your walking around sexily.
You see the hoses, the gasoline hoses and such. It's not gasoline, it's whatever futuristic resource we have. The Peter drive, Petre drive. They're fueling up a ship to leave. Here. A thought may cross Dolby's mind. These dissidents, what are they fighting for? What are they fighting against? You realize the information of your arrival tells them something. Oh. Is there a civil war going on? They have their own ideas. Their fight is not your fight. Your fight is not theirs. As it dawns on Dolby, your arrival is something extra to what they're doing. Down with Aladdin. Aladdin comes up to Skip Trace and Cherokee Sue. What's going on?
So I would like to be native to try to discern, like you're talking about a shaman-esque person. So my goal here is to try to figure out what the goal is of like the ritualistic nature of what's going on. Like, is there something that they were doing before we got here that's blatantly obvious? I'm seeking cultural signifiers of what their objective is.
Cherokee Sue, you seeing this, based in what we were talking about before, the idea of, are they moving like someone from Whisper Base?
No, that was me.
Oh. Well, still, he saw the idea. There is absolutely something going on traditional. With whomever that person is, Gostrom. Aladdin is just rolling down to tell you something. You're in the intermediate. That's when, we'll say with your bid, since your bid should matter, you look and see that Dolby is up at the top. Like Leonidas style, has not been caught up in this fervor, but in fact, still a soldier, has surveyed what is going on. Dolby, The answer is yes. Skip trace. Aladdin comes down, hands folded, pyramid style. You guys have the action. They are just talking until you interrupt.
Also, heads up, I got about 15 minutes.
I know. I'm.
What?
Okay, so I'll just.
Thank you.
So what was my answer? Is this person moving like? Is Gostrom moving like one from?
As Aladdin walks down, Gostrom has said that perhaps, and the answer is yes, that perhaps it would be best if we spoke at our other base, somewhere further away from the main colony. They seem to be looking for you all.
Still interior comms.
Yep.
Did you hear that, Dobie?
I did. I might. And so I'm 100% sure these guys are whatever we ran across before.
Gostrom.
Only Gostrom.
Gostrom is moving like those things that we ran across on Whisper Base.
All right. Well, that's our target.
I think that they're deifying they're essentially deifying this robot thing that we saw on
It's not a robot.
Whisper Base, and we're kind of stuck in the middle of this right now. There's a very good chance that there's a coup occurring here, and we've walked in and picked a side without realizing it.
Dolby,
not clear
you hear
about
Archangel when you wish.
that. Okay, I would love to hear him right now.
Dolby, Lieutenant. Okay, so there's a lot of comm chatter. We moved the ship.
Okay.
Yeah. You hear voices in the background. Yeah, I'm telling him. I just I muted you guys. Just. Yes, you can listen. I'm telling him, as you get the sense, Dolby, that Engineering and Durgan are trying to tell you what is going on. Archangel continues. Yeah, so another ship has appeared over the main colony. I did a little searching. Looks like there were 3 colonies. Well, there's one okay. There's one colony, but there's 3 towns. Everyone is confusing. There's a mining encampment. It's a large facility, and it's in the water and on the coast. There's a large, we'll call it the main colony. That's where a lot of the radio chatter's coming from. There's a third place that seems to have a lot of radio chatter. And there's a fourth place they keep on talking about, but it's dead, and it has a lot of really bad radiation. I think that's what we landed next to. So, in my personal opinion, someone dropped a bomb on them. It looks like, I don't know, several years ago.
So my idea is not special, is what you're telling me.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm just kidding. So I think we've run across, we're going to say, some entities you've probably never, ever run across.
What?
They're like super powered space adolescents.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know
there's a ship hovering above the main colony.
Yeah, it's not one of ours. It's not one of theirs. I mean,
I don't think so. They're talking to it, and transferring materials of some sort on. It looks like anti-grav. You probably don't know what that means. They're transferring materials right now, It looks like it's cobalt and copper.
Yeah, I'm guessing those are the guys that we're gonna try and stop. These are creatures that have some kind of... I mean, I'm sure they're human, but they're not like us. They move in a weird way. They act in a weird way.
Is that okay?
No.
Oh,
So-
It's not okay. But I think the issue is that they're not with us. I think we let them.
you
make
hear
the
Alice Brick
transfer.
talking to Archangel.
Yeah. yeah,
As
okay.
she's obviously trying to get to talk to you, and Archangel's like, yeah, okay. Not letting her talk.
Uh-huh. What is Brick going on about?
Let me pipe her in. Shh. Really quick, skip Trace and Cherokee. Anything?
So,
Or Katrina. All of you.
so
I ain't got nothing for the moment.
even if this thing will help us complete our task and get them back in the SSA, shouldn't we work with that just to get our task completed? Do what we need to?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that you might be onto something. I'm not gonna disagree. I kind of want to see where this is going here, but I don't like any of it. I do think the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or at least we can work together until we don't. Ask Aladdin, are the people in the ship above the city, are they with you guys?
Oh yeah,
Who
they.
is that?
Aladdin said that they want to take us to their bigger base to talk to us.
Is that their bigger base, you think?
Well, that's the ship that would take us there, is what I'm assuming.
No, there's
They
a
can
ship
hold
above
roughly
the city
35 folks.
that is receiving cobalt.
The one outside the landing pad?
No, it's above the city. There's a ship above the city that we were gonna invade, but I decided to go here instead. I believe that's the description that I got. Am I
No,
way off on that?
Dolby, you're
Like,
way right. You're way right.
Am I?
Okay, so
It has nothing to do with these guys. There is a ship who is not our friend, getting equipment and cobalt and what we want, and it's not delivering it to the Sol system. It is not these guys.
That's what I was saying. Is it seems like they're trying to deify this robot creep in such a way that they can justify colonizing
It's not these people.
this area
Somebody
in the
else.
shadow.
Yeah, I don't think
Katrina.
it's these people.
You won the fate roll. Fortune. As the Ansible has a very particular signal. Now, it's not instantaneous. It is, as you said, you hacked in, you found out about this thing. You know that your family, or the corporation, I should say, it's not actually necessarily your family, has one. You beat it by 2, the threshold, which means you get a narrative point. They have access to an Ansible. It's not on the planet called Drizzle.
Trey Luna. Trey Luna's the whole colony.
Yeah. It's not on Trey Luna. You have to travel to get to it. It's run by priests of a sort. No one really talks to them. They're very pleasant, but you don't really talk to them. They wear robes with these ornate fringes and such. And you can communicate with almost instantaneous, I mean, it feels like, look, within days, to communicate with 10 light years, 20 light years, it's more like a couple weeks. This odd calculation they give, and they do it very quickly. As you met with them momentarily, you gained an audience with the Ansible. It's this massive structure. It's about 3 stories tall. This weird, think of something steampunky is what it looks like. Diodes and stuff. Think of a Tesla coil. Makes that kind of like horrible sound. Blah! And these beings run it. You realize pretty quickly they're not Zens. They're not human. Probably freaks you out. You leave. There's the thought in Katrina's mind, perhaps. Is it going to be a problem that you've seen this thing? You get a signal in your comms. Sounds like a 56K modem. You don't hear the message, but you know it's the Ansible talking. As Dolby's voice pipes in. As in cuts through it. You just hear it sort of on the fringe. Dolby,
Gotcha.
what do you say?
Katrina, I think there's a transfer taking place outside. I'd catch your guard. Maybe find a nice quiet place to put yourself, just in case things go hot. I hope it doesn't, but it might.
Sure. That's fine. And Katrina actually will, obviously you guys don't see this, but in terms of like cinematics, Katrina will actually be very, only moving her mouth a little bit, and basically her mental, her brain implant is basically amplifying the words that she's saying very quietly to herself to where it sounds normal, but in terms of the other people looking around her, it just kind of looks like she's muttering to herself.
What do you bid?
For that, I'll bid integrated mind jack.
Yep, I love it. As that's exactly what happens. You hear Cletus, his name's not Cletus, Calvin and Beefton kind of going back and forth. Katrina, the feeling with these people is that they are following a leader. And they're hoping to bring that leader some good news. You have made a good impression on them. As both now, Calvin and Beefton, look at you and say, all right, this sounds really good. I mean, don't tell your Prime Marine Corps fudge heads anything about this deal. But I think the Telmar could help us out quite a bit.
Yeah, Telmar shipping. And obviously at this point, Katrina's cut off the communication to the rest of the group. Yeah, I mean, we actually have a really close colony that we could coordinate with to definitely get things rolling rather quickly.
As you can see, they're sold.
Do you know? I mean, I guess should I have gone with them to meet your boss?
Well, you should definitely talk to Gostrom, of course. Although pretty much no one talks to her, save for Aladdin. but we'll talk to him. We'll talk to Aladdin for you.
Okay, perfect. The real question is, how do you want me to play the rest of this operation? Do you want me to just sort of get rid of the hangers on, or do you want me to play it cool for now?
Fate roll. Fortune. Who rolls it?
I will
Like, fuck
be-
you.
Jazzy, you be fate, you be fortune, and I'll be false.
All right,
All right.
here we go.
Here are the stakes. Pretty obvious. Fortune is, they say something along the lines of course you're a whole group, and they take you as part of the PMC. You're with them, in fact. Even if you're suspect. False Fortune, it's completely a deal against the rest of the party. All right, roll it.
$67 on the false.
90. Wait, hold on.
Oh,
That can you see that at all, or is it too bright?
Nope.
No, it gets too blurry.
Fuck. I can't tell if it's a 9 or a 6. I
does
think
it
it's a
have a
9.
dot or a bar?
What side is the 0 on? The 0 should be on the right side.
It is.
So that means it's. What's it look like with the 0 on the right side?
90.
Okay. Yep.
So then it is a 90. Okay. Thank you for helping me narrow that down. I was like, I
That's all right.
figure it out.
You see them kind of taken aback, Katrina. As it's like when you're in like a really good deal, but you said the wrong fucking thing. As Beefton nods. Oh, maybe you should. This is the guy with the long hair. Maybe you should, talk to him first. I mean, we've seen a lot of bloodshed in the last few years, and with the PNB, I mean, fuck, Harold Grimm. As you hear Calvin say, Captain. Yeah, I know. I mean, with Captain Grimm, he looks over. Yeah, they still have him prisoner. We don't want any more beef with the PNB or PMC, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. As Calvin says, yeah, I mean, I know that the Telemus is as a Telemus does. Kind of like looks all around. Listen, we're interested in what you have to offer. But if we can do so without gunfire, that's best for everybody.
All right, I agree with that. In that case, we'll call this a tentative agreement, and I will, at the earliest possible convenience, start working out the actual finer details.
As they all nod. Andrea, thank you very much. I know you got to bounce.
Yeah.
However,
Good seeing you guys again.
before you bounce,
Yes.
so you will see the scene. There is a moment when Katrina has left and she's heading down to the rest of them, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
That Calvin contacts Aladdin and tells them of this. Tells them of the deal. Aladdin is sitting there nodding with their implant. In front of Skip Trace. Skip Trace, you hear, or you see, I should say, Aladdin just kind of twitching, nodding. Likely anetic. Receiving information. As Katrina walks up. There's a look that's unmistakable on Aladdin's face. Disgust. traitorous. But Aladdin doesn't say anything. All right, Katrina, you're with the group. We will see you next time.
Bye, guys. See you next
Bye.
week.
Yep.
Have a good time.
All right. Last scene. Actions on you all. Dolby, you're up where the gunship is. Skip and Cherokee Sue, along with behind you, Katrina Thomas. You're down where the office is, the computer room. Aladdin is standing in front of you. Actions on you guys.
Just our only comm. Do we want to accompany them to this next place? Or
We're not leaving here.
that's what they, I mean, they said that they want to talk to us in their bigger base.
Yeah. Well, let's let me I'd like to meet Gostrom before we go.
Aladdin comes up. Where is Lieutenant Dolby? They look around.
I'll start like kind of fading back in a little bit. And Gostrom is there with
Nope. Gostrom is in the room.
in the
Skip / Cherokee, you can bid or throw down. As Dolby, you're walking up.
So I can definitely tell that the air has changed a little bit. I'm going to use Street Sense to discern whether or not we have a choice in changing location.
So for that, absolutely you do. You can tell they're not going to move against you. Cherokee, you can tell they're not arming up. All of the intensity is on your all side. They have not caught wind of anything you've said.
Okay.
The only difference is the way that Aladdin and well, you don't see Gostrom. The way that Aladdin is regarding Katrina, which Aladdin didn't like Katrina anyway.
I think we need to play it cool here and see where it goes. Because if we can discern how big this secret operation is, we can determine whether or not they're actually going to rejoin or not.
Skip, what'd you get?
I'll throw down. What do I need to throw down?
It's up to you.
What
Just you
aspect?
notice something. It's up to you.
So that'd be wits, I'd say.
As Dolby, you're walking into the scene as this is happening.
I got 1 success.
That's all you need. You'll note what Cherokee is doing and what he's saying and everything. And Dolby, of course, coming back into this. You'll note, however, Aladdin is talking to you with some extra confidence. Something is different for them. It's not hostile. It's different. It's, oh, everything's okay for a second.
Okay.
Gostrom will see you if you wish.
Yeah, let's meet Gostrom. Love to see the great Gostrom.
As Aladdin turns and walks a few paces, turns back. You won't need your weapons.
Well, probably not.
As they turn back and start walking. As you walk into the command center, just a few people in here messing with holograms, all rudimentary. Those of you that might be looking, it's up to you if you see.
Yeah, I would like to bid.
Okay.
Is that possible?
Oh yeah.
I am going to bid my tier of play to. Is this kind of the brain center of this area?
Seems like it.
Seasoned. This is where they do all the rolls. Do I see Gostrom?
Oh yeah. So what is the intention here?
You know those hand signals
Mm-hmm.
that I do that encourage violence?
Yeah.
That all of my team members know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use those hand signals to ready my crew to kind of spread out and sort of focus on Gostrom.
Yep. So, bidding that, all of you send or you see what Dolby is telling you. Dolby, what are you telling them?
I'm gonna say ready to attack, but we'll just wait to see what they say.
Skip and Cherokee.
I'm bidding military school. So as we go into this area, I'm going to basically scope it out, see if I can figure out what's actually going on in here. Also, what areas of threat may come from in here.
Skip, as you bid that, you actually see the maps that are semi-holographic. It's lesser technology than what you're used to. It's like looking at a old school CRT and being like, oh,
Like the little.
yeah. You see first the entire layout of this facility. It's not very big. You've pretty much seen most of it. The off-way tunnels were storerooms. There's a couple that are escape routes. You see the landing pad, and it's nestled toward the mountains, and it solves an issue for you. It would be very difficult to find that landing pad amidst all of the outcroppings and such in the mountains, especially if it was a camouflaged vehicle. So it is open, but it's on a cliff.
Sorry, guys. I was wrong about the opening. I did not realize.
Maybe
that it was a
not.
landing
Maybe
pad.
not. Just you do get that information. The second thing is, you notice there are, it looks like 4 colonies, 4 settlements on this one colony. One, as your eyes kind of look, this massive mining facility, and it has some infrastructure in the sea. So an oil, imagine like an oil platform.
Yeah.
Or 2. Roads, as you look at them, no, they're railroads that connect all of these. Mainly to the main colony, which is just off the coast. That's the one you all saw. There's a blip, which looks like some sort of radar blip. You could assume it's either a large structure or potentially the disabled cruiser you guys dropped that's there. So these people are getting that telemetry. Further south of you in the mountains, like actually in the mountains, is a second colony. It's much smaller, but it's there. It might, maybe or maybe not, it's up to Skip. They've been here for 200 years. They don't all live in the same town, right? There's a third. It's near where you guys landed, but it is there. It's all dark. As you realize, it's probably been destroyed. Something occurs with Skip. There was a battle. Something Aladdin said. There was a battle not long ago. I will not connect the dots.
About 5 years.
About 5 years ago.
About 5 years ago.
And a nuke. But not a nuke on the main colony, which is very near the mining facility.
Okay.
Cherokee, what are you doing? Are you bidding something? You get all the information from Dalby, his hand signals, and
I am gonna use my motto, fuck around and find out. And essentially give off the energy that we are complying because we're curious, not because we have to. And that at any moment, I will turn on you. So, in other words, like, you watch yourself.
Dalby. Now I'm calling him Dalby. Dalby.
Dolby, like Dolby Pro Logic.
Gostrom turns.
Whoa.
She has coppery skin. It looks like makeup. Imagine Egyptian-style eyeshadow. Piercings in her ears that come around, chains to the earlobes. This heavy silk-looking robe and hood, ornate with symbols of the red all over it. She looks like she's about in her 50s. Salt and peppery hair pulled back and down her shoulders. She gives off the feeling of a leader, a teacher. There's something immediate in her gaze. Dark brown eyes. A wisdom, an intelligence that is almost frightening. She sizes you up. You can tell without even, like, just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very still for a moment. The action is on you guys. You spent cunning.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to introduce myself to Gostrom. Gostrom, where are you guys from? I'm Dolby from the SSA.
You see her face. Go on.
Yeah. Are you interested in teaming up?
You see her face does not flinch. There's no eyebrow twitch. There's nothing. Everything is very exact, very stern. Kind of reminds Dolby of the look like a commander or an admiral has. Like they've seen a lot. They know the score, or they're just very calm, or perhaps they know their fate. You've seen this in a lot of faces. She says, her voice is average. If you are here, Marine, to take what is ours, we have a problem.
What is yours?
Our lives.
I don't want to take your life.
Your predecessors did.
They don't know how to communicate. I'm here to communicate. We've been through a lot in our lives, and one of the things that I'm very interested in is, well, I was given a mission to do a thing, and I'm here to do a thing, and this is sort of on the path. My mission is not kill a bunch of people. It's not blow a bunch of people up. Yes, if you attack me, we might, we might fight, but I don't kill people for no reason. It's not my thing.
As Skip and Cherokee, what are you doing as Dolby is talking to Gosper?
Every time they look away, I'm a little bit closer.
So you're like hovering over with like your hammer.
Yeah.
Shotgun.
Am I talking to Gostrom or to Aladdin? I'm talking directly. Yeah. Okay.
I thought we were directly to the person.
Yeah. Cherokee, if you want to be doing this, what do you bid? And you'll have to throw down. It'll be grace or wits. Skip.
I'm gonna use.
What are you
Dancing
doing?
Bear.
Dancing Bear. I love it. Skip. What are you doing?
I am working my way onto like the area where there is the most people. So when shit goes bad, I can take out as many as quick as possible.
In the command center or?
Yeah, in the command center.
Yep. You get to a corner, so you need a bid. Throw down just for posterity's sake. Threshold for you is 2.
Okay.
Bidding
I'm
Dancing Bear. Throw down your action die, which is a D10, Cherokee Sioux. And the aspect I'm thinking is grace or it's wits. It's up to you. Threshold for you to avoid Gostrom's gaze is 7.
Ooh. Can I assist?
Okay, so this is gonna be
Yes,
tough.
you can.
I got 2 on.
So a Dancing Bear does have an upgrade on it. So does that mean it counts as for 2 successes in that case?
Correct. So you bid 1,
Can I assist
and then you
in
have to
saying that
activate
maybe
Dancing
a
Bear
breath
dice.
is a good idea instead of. Can I assist in saying that maybe breath is a good idea instead of spending all your traits?
Breath would be
That's
great,
fair.
but it is a yes but situation. So you're underway.
Yeah.
So you understand.
I mean, the objective
you need
isn't
to
necessarily
really
to be
throw down.
stealthy. It's more to be intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, so if they
I
notice
say-
that I'm getting
Yep.
closer, that's okay. It's just
Okay. In that case, if it's not just stealth, to be intimidating, we'll give it a 4. Threshold of 4.
got you. Because I maybe should have explained a little bit better. The objective here is to be like every time I look away, it seems like
You're
I'm
just
closer
bigger.
than I was before. You know, I'm getting bigger because I'm getting
Yeah.
closer.
All right. So
Okay.
you've already made your bid.
Now I need 2.
Yeah. So activate the ability with another bid. So you bid Dancing Bear, cool. Activate the ability to gain the success with another bid, and then throw down. Remember, you got your ninja gear. You can activate up to 2, and you have proficiencies to reroll dice. Dolby, you see your people, your squad, moving on their own, but with the purpose that you intend.
Sure.
As Cherokee Sioux sort of stalks forward, you maybe you don't even see Skip Trace, which is a good thing. He's off in the corner. Skip, you hit limbo. A couple of we'll say one, Aladdin notices you. You guys share a look. Go on.
But here we go.
I don't have my hand on my knife right now. I have my hands behind my back, just kind of walking, just kind of because I know that I can grab my knife as quick as possible from here.
You'll note Aladdin sees you.
Okay.
It's not like they're not watching you, but they do see you. Otherwise, no one has seen you.
When they look at me, I'll nod. And I'm
You
just
do.
kind of,
So,
it looks like I'm kind of like just kind of looking around at the area.
There's a slow, they see you too, they see what's happening, they're suspicious. You'll see that they move to an advantageous position for them,
Yeah.
to where you cannot see their hands across the room. But beyond that, no one else is aware.
So
Cherokee?
what is the environment? I was thinking about turning off my grab boots to make me move a little bit quicker. But I don't think
There
that
is
would fly
gravity
here.
on this moon.
Okay. Well, no, wait. Because I'm from Prime, I can move quicker and higher gravities. I'm used to that shit.
That's true. Although I was gonna say, do you have your grab boots on? Because if you do, it's actually, do you turn them off?
I don't know. That's a great point. I never really thought too much about it.
It's up to you.
Well, so I did turn him off that one time when the dude tried to grapple with me.
Yeah, but
and I gave him
on this planet or on this moon. It sounds like you've had your boots on the entire time.
He's like,
without. You know what? Without this, so I don't have to use a pip. Yeah, I've just been clunking about the whole time. And
So you
just
turn 'em off
now,
or not?
I was like, wait, my boots are off. On. I
You
just
turn
turned them off just now.
and you find out something. This planet, it's heavy metals of cobalt and mercury and iron. As you're like, oh my god, it's so much easier to walk. As you can move like the wind, you realize this place is very magnetic, so much so that the water is electric. Shooky bookie wookie wookie.
Boogie woogie.
Yeah, as you will get 2 successes on top of that, simply for the oh my god, I like Goku. You like release the weights. The whole time you've been like sweating. Like, how are all these little people moving around so easily?
They're so fast. I rolled a 6 and a 7.
So that is 2 successes, because it's above
Or
4 but below an 8, and above 4
Is the
but below
line-
an 8. The line is below.
So then it's a 9. I thought it was a
Okay,
6.
so then that's 2 successes. So 1 on the one, 2 on the other. So that's 3 plus. What did you get for your abilities?
You said 2 for the boots, right?
Yep. So 5.
Okay, so
plus.
I think that it puts me at 5, and then I activated Dancing Bear to do all of these things. So I think
Yep.
5 is where I ended up. Correct.
All right. That is above 4, so you are intimidating. As Gostrom looks over your shoulder, Dolby, seeing Cherokee Sue get larger and larger, standing there ominously.
It
Dolby.
really grows on you.
Oh, you get a pip. Actions on you, Dolby. What are you doing?
So what do you want to do with the cobalt? I mean, what's the purpose of?
I will
like,
not
what are
lie to
doing?
you, Lieutenant. By the way, I'd actually forgotten because I'm kind of drunk. Drizzle, the bid that you had, it was not just what I said, perception-wise. Also, Gostrom said Lieutenant, but Dolby has never been introduced. Aladdin said Lieutenant. Dolby's never been. You guys have not said what your ranks are. They know your ranks. That's what you got.
okay.
That they know how to read prime or Marine Corps stuff, which means they've had experience.
Okay.
As Gostrom looks at you and says, answering your question, the cobalt goes to the Axminster cluster, to the clad.
Are you Axminster?
Yes.
Dragon.
Why do you? Well, that's it. Do I need to spend money again?
No, you already did. Now it's actually their turn. Hold on.
Are you putting on your like evil face?
Your evil hood.
Foolish players!
Full defense.
As she holds up her hand, she has the force. No, I'm kidding. She says, but that does not make us enemies. Unless you wish to be enemies.
I don't want to be enemies with you.
We have tried for a long time to make inroads with the SSA. Not all of the Axminster group of the Clad is in agreement with the Mistress.
I honestly
This was
Well,
a
your turn.
very boss.
I know very little about Axminster. Honestly, like, I picked up one of your guys, and he seems all right. He helped us kind of move forward in a lot of ways. I saved his life from some pirates, actually. So, you know,
It is the player turn.
maybe there's some kind of inroads and diplomacy, but if I go back home empty-handed, it's not going to be good for either one of us.
The more useful you look when we leave, the more likely that another band of troops doesn't show up.
I am still in our only comms. Are they against the clad that are in the city?
Do you know the clad?
Are you asking
Yeah.
me?
No, I'm asking the
Gotcha.
Nostrum.
Oh.
The clad is a deprecated term. You would call us that for what we are. But there are politics within what we are.
Okay.
Some wish to destroy the SSA, it is true. But we believe in cooperation. Your predecessors who came here 5 years ago, whom we had nothing to do with, by the way, nuked the southern settlement. They were captured
Yeah.
for infighting. Now they are mercenaries. I believe their leader, Harold Grimm, still prisoner within the main colony. Those who you would call the clad do dealings with this colony for the cobalt, the delicious, delicious cobalt that they have. But there's an entire galaxy which operates in the shadows of the SSA. As you see her kind of like turn, looking at you both, she doesn't sigh, but it would be as if she did sigh. I know you have a mission, Marine. We needn't fight. If we're going to fight, we could fight Confucius and what he represents, which is greed, a totalitarian regime. The emperor is far and the mountain is high.
Is that
She
your
kind
ship?
of nods at you.
Is that your ship taking? Where's that ship that's landing over the city that's getting the cobalt?
That is not mine. I may be considered
Where's that?
a rebel, if you will.
No, I get that. Where's that ship going?
I know not. I suppose
You don't. It's one of Confucius's connections.
it has a dealing with Confucius, yes, and his government.
Right.
You say you have one of mine helping you?
Oh yeah. I rescued him from some pirates who kidnapped him.
As for the first time, you actually see an emotion on her face. I know not this person. Usually we are connected. Who is it?
I turned off my comms really quick.
You guys hear that?
You know Wilhelm?
What do you bid? Now,
I did.
think on intent. You will decide, does she know Wilhelm or not?
Right. I bid. Fuck. I bid greater break.
What do you wish?
I bid. Achieving above a level in which I am. And basically, I would love it if not only did they know Wilhelm, but had an emotional connection to it for sure? Like that they were. I don't know anything about their culture or anything like that, but they were important. Maybe that they'd not seen each other in a long time, but they'd heard the name before and had a moment or something.
Maybe that's not a bid. Maybe you spend a narrative point to make that happen.
Hey.
Well, I could spend. I would like to spend a narrative point, but I do have a narrative point. Can I spend a narrative point saying
You can.
that is,
You can, in fact.
Thanks.
As you do, and if you bid, you could elicit more information.
Well,
Go on.
I do want more information, which would allow.
There's
me
an emotional expression. As
to
Dolby, you know,
understand more
before she
than-
speaks. Before she
Yeah.
speaks, wow. Before she speaks,
Okay.
she knows Vesper. And she says, "You have Vesper."
I don't have him. He's helping us. It's like you might help us.
We are both renegades. I have not seen
destroyed-
him for many years. We thought him dead.
He's not. He's good. He's a good pilot.
Our ship is preparing to transport troops to another outpost. We move often, especially when there's so much activity outside in the warring fields. What would you have of us, Lieutenant?
It's a good question. I think that any alliance we make is
Can you suffer
probably
being
Go ahead.
allied as she pulls down her hood? And you see her hair, it's like these dreads of tubes coming down. You see the electrical energy going down. And you see that her face is just skin laid on a robot to an AI. And
Any
that
alliance-
is where we're going to end tonight.
The tube dreads, though. That's so spooky.
I'm gonna give you guys some thought, some thinking on this one. Think where you want to go with it. When we build it up, because we're gonna build it up next week, because we have to do it next week. Jazzy, you better be here,
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
and you better get Max in here too. Damn it, seminal fucking moments.
Man,
When we build it up, it's gonna go from outside. So what Silas and Burgess are doing, to in. So think about, this is a pretty seminal moment for you guys. Dolby, you've the enemy of my enemy, but can you? And huge medicine. That's where I'm gonna shut up. Anyone get goals?
Nope.
maybe.
Major, minor goals.
I
3, 2, 1. Tell me.
was just trying to figure out. Mine says uncover mystery. I don't think we fully answered our
I
question.
think we uncovered some mystery right there.
You definitely got a mystery there.
We've just uncovered that that one of the SSA's major enemies is the dissidents on this planet, but they aren't the ones getting the cobalt, so that's kind of huge.
Well, and you learned that the Clad, or the Clad Initiative, or the Axminster Cluster Colony, who have seceded from the SSA a long time ago,
But they are robots, basically.
Yeah, something's going on with them. But also, you realize
Maybe.
you found out that they, in and of themselves, have different groups.
Yeah.
Which is not known.
Yeah.
The idea of there's a schism within their ranks is huge.
Yeah.
They may
we've
not
learned-
all be robots.
And they may not all be robots. Because Wilhelm Vesper is not a robot. He's a netic. He's
a
like
medic.
45,
Even though
50%. This
He's not
woman,
allowed in.
this woman is a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm an artificial intelligence.
She's whisper based.
I am not real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
See,
she's,
that was my thought is that this is
she's
one
older
of
than
many.
Whisper Base. Because Whisper Base is like Cylons. Like organically grown. She ain't.
Sure.
She's like Ex Machina style. Like a
Yeah.
fucking robot.
She's full robot.
Yeah, with like a fucking Play-Doh
Really?
face.
She's also not a Cylon.
Skin
I
suit.
mean,
She's
You-
an
you
alright.
start-
Maybe she's alright.
you start going from the other way where you start developing human-like
That's right.
human-like robots.
This sounds like an awful lot like an After Hours. So
Yeah.
if you got a major or minor
Minor.
goal, you got your major is 2 XP, minor is 1. You get 1 cunning, 1 breath back, and you get a pip.
Definitely not the
Mark up
direction
the
I
group
expect.
stuff. Lead us out, Drizzle.
Thank you guys for watching. Glad you stuck with us if you did. If you're listening to this podcast, glad you listened to the whole podcast. Thank you guys. Space. We'd like to thank the Arbiter, Bill Bunkum. Thanks to the people who played, Ken Howl, me, Drizzle, Andrea Elliott-Johnson, and Jazzy Cabbage. We'd like to thank the music. It's provided by all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt. Thank you to the Patreon, Nostalgic, Natalia Cline, Tim Roberts, and Daniel Holker. If you'd like to join our Patreon, it's patreon.com/DreadLore. Go there, and we'd greatly appreciate it. And we'd say thank you
You'll
to
go
you
to
every
heaven.
week. Yeah. All the beautiful stuff you've seen tonight is from Couchfire Media. He's the reason we are broadcast right now. So thank him. And thanks to Terrible Productions for whatever the fuck they do. Yeah.
Set fires.
Yeah.
Super guest star, Jazzy Cabbage. Check out Jazzy Cabbage's stuff. Jazzy Cabbage, how do we find you?
On X and okay, that's my face. Mainly on X. That's
On X.
X is the main place. Yeah.
Yep.
I sometimes stream on Twitch, but it's mainly because Maxie's TikTok isn't working or something like that. So
Yeah, TikTok. It fails all the time. It's so weird.
Jazzy
So
Cabbage in the
finicky.
cast, right?
It's a fickle thing.
that fickle thing.
We'll be back in
Subscribe
10
and
minutes.
become a citizen. We'll be back in
Yep.
10 minutes for After Hours. Boom.
Boom.